Next is the preview for the game against Middlesbrough at the Riverside Stadium, and weather permitting, hopefully we should have a game tomorrow and a much anticipated one in Wayne Rooney's first game as Birmingham City manager. Today I'm joined by Johnny from Borough Breakdown. How are you, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. I'm very good. Thanks for having me on, mate. I appreciate it.
Brilliant. Yeah, we'll get straight into it, I guess. What are your opinions on us at the moment? I guess what we've been doing, because Wayne Rooney is now the Birmingham City manager, coming up against the former Man United player Michael Carrick straight away. What's your take on it all?
Absolutely nuts, isn't it? It's just
That's us.
insane. It's like I don't know. It's like telling a marketing team to say, "Oh, well, we'll give you all this budget, and then just come, like if you don't get promoted, oh yeah, it's gonna probably fail miserably." Maybe given like an ultimatum or something. But I don't know. I found it so odd, really odd that you got rid of Eustace. Like doing so well. Your summer was good. You know, you brought in some really shrewd signs like Bailey. I'm thinking of like Miyoshi as well. I got free. I think you got him from Antwerp as well, which I think was a
It
bit of a
was.
bargain, like absolute bargain. So, and Deion Sanderson coming back, and I thought, yeah, I put in Dembele as well. If I had him to listen, it's like you've got a really good base. Your managers seems to get the best out of the players. Seem a bit normal, and then Tom Brady just pops up out of nowhere, and you just think this is really odd. And he's came in, and obviously I'm assuming he's going to have some sort of say in Wayne Rooney's appointment. To be honest, they want to have this icon of a footballer and someone who's very marketable is in charge of the club to try and drive more revenue. But to be honest, you probably could have got more revenue if you had probably had a better chance of driving more revenue with Eustace in charge because you're in the much better place and direction. Everyone was bought in as well. Fans were, so it just seems utterly bizarre that everything's happened on your end, and it's a bit of a shame, really. But yeah, it kind of leads for tomorrow to be a game where I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know how Rooney's going to set you guys up, which is a bit of a strange thing, isn't it? Because obviously his time at DC United might be completely different to what he does on Saturday. So it's exciting, but yeah, to kind of sum up, it's been a bit of a strange time for Birmingham, and I find it really strange as well.
I suppose Birmingham, there's never really not a strange time because of all the
Yeah,
turbulence that seems to be happening like on and off the pitch. But it took a while for the fans, I guess, to sort of come around to this appointment of Wayne Rooney, because at first when Eustace was sacked, everybody was like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, what's happening?" Because we're in sixth place, seems to be doing pretty well. Yeah, I mean, we started with a flyer, I guess, with wins against Leeds and Bristol City, really sort of building up that form. And then two wins going into this national break as well, scoring 7 goals in the process. It looks like it was a really good start,
Mm.
but clearly the board have got their own vision of the way they want to go to. And I guess the Birmingham fans will back the manager, but it seems to be one of them things where it's just such a turbulent time at the moment, and we're on this trajectory. But who knows, the time scale and the time frame.
Yeah, that's it. Like you just don't know, do you? And I think, well, obviously, we all know that football, you can't really predict the future, can you? Because you always expect like the unexpected in it. And with you guys, I know that you've had that turbulent time over the last couple of seasons, and obviously the stadium as well, getting refurbished and redone, and getting everything fixed as well. Probably hasn't been an ideal thing, but I felt like this summer was kind of like your time to kind of go, we're probably more stable than we have been for a little bit of time. This is semi-stable of what Birmingham is at the moment, and yeah, it's just a weird change in a sense. But I'm interested to see what you guys think now. I'm assuming you guys are all fully won over now, and I know you'll back him, but it's just a bit odd, isn't it? Like it's just a bit odd. Like
Mm.
I just don't know how to describe it, to be honest. But yeah, it's a bit of an odd time for you guys.
Yeah, odd is a very good word to use, I guess.
Yeah,
But we speak about the summers, I guess, like the summer that we had,
yeah.
bringing in a lot of fresh players, a lot of fresh talent. And I guess the summer for Middlesbrough, there was a lot of key departures, players coming in. How would you sort of summarize the summer that Middlesbrough had?
A very interesting one. It was a very interesting one, exciting one though. It definitely was exciting. I think as soon as the whistle went after Coventry, we instantly lost like Stefan, we lost Cameron Archer, we lost Aaron Ramsey. Then we were going to lose Chuba. It was the writing was on the wall that we were going to lose him. So we lose about 66 goals overnight, like goal contributions, and you go, right, that's a big number to fill. And we've had some really good signings, I think, in the summer. It's been a different approach from what we've had in the previous year. Last year, we had a lot of loans who were great and they really contributed to us. And we were on this major trajectory last year and got to the playoff semi final. And it's all rosy, but this kind of this like build of like trying to bring in like maybe like 8 to 10 players was always going to have to happen because we had to bring in players who, one, I fit the way the club wants to work, and two, can we try and tie these players who are young with a bit of potential in them down into longer term contracts and then try to sell them on for profit? And that's how Borough are trying to operate now as a club. And it was an exciting summer, though. I think I've really enjoyed us bringing in a number of bodies, and it's good and exciting now. And we're slowly starting to click, like very, very slowly. It's getting there, and I think that's kind of reflecting our results, really. But there's a couple of things that's probably contributed to that, and we'll come to it in a second. But yeah, been an interesting summer. I'm very happy with it so far. There's still a lot to go. In terms of like standouts, you're thinking who's going to be our standout signing so far. I think Senny Dieng has been a fantastic signing. I know like he's conceded quite a few goals, but he hasn't really had much of a chance in a lot of the goals he's conceded. You're looking at our left backs and Engel and Bangura haven't really started just yet to really kick on. Vandenberg, who from Holland, who just looks like an absolute gem of a signing. I think he will go for millions of pounds in the next couple of seasons. And as you just look up the pitch, really, you're thinking Emmanuel Latte-Alap, which is a fantastic name, Sammy Silver and Morgan Rogers and Sam Greenwood, and you're thinking, okay, we've got a bit of quality there. How can we start to integrate these guys together? And it's slowly starting to come together very slowly but surely. But probably a bad time for you guys, I guess. But I've said that now and I've got to get beat 3-0. So, but yeah, we're in a good bit of form right now.
Yeah, as you said, good bit of form, 4 wins in a row. It looks to be, as you said, that things are starting to click and fall in place or whatever. Because I thought Middlesbrough's strategy over the summer, it was really smart recruitment, wasn't it? The fact that they got a
Mm,
lot of younger players in, as you said, not gone for the loan approach, but gone for sort of younger players, build them up, and then maybe sell them on for more in the future. Because it's a similar thing that Birmingham have done actually, where we're
yeah,
so used to having these kids that have come in on loan from like top six sides or whatever. They go back and then they get sold for the money. But we want to be the guys that are in charge of the
yeah,
contracts,
yeah,
have the 5-year deal, 4-year deal, and then sell them on for profit in the future. So I think going forward, it's the way to go, isn't it? In the Championship, we've seen sides in the past where they've had younger teams and they've sort of built up gradually, and then got to a position where they are challenging for the playoffs. But with you guys, you were in the playoffs last season. So what would you say are the expectations going forward? Would you say that top six is the minimum for Michael Carrick to achieve?
it would be lovely if we did. I get it again, and we always want to try and progress, don't you? And you always want to get promoted. But yeah, I would take playoffs again. I really would. I feel like the top two is kind of out of reach for a lot of clubs now. But for us, yeah, I would definitely take like a fifth, like a fourth, fifth, or a sixth. And if we can do that, then brilliant. And then hopefully we can go 1 or 2 steps further this year and get promoted, and that would be amazing. Last year, I think we were a bit too. I don't know if it felt like a missed opportunity at the time, but now you reflect on it, you go and you see the likes of Luton and you see the likes of the teams that got promoted. You go, we probably didn't get promoted, and it was probably a good thing.
Mm.
So I'll take the playoffs again this year. I don't know what you guys think as well. Like, what's your aim as well? Because I mean, probably stability was going to be one thing, but then you had this really good start. So where's your head at now for the rest of the season?
I think it's one of the things where the board have an idea of where they want to finish this season, and the fans have maybe a bit of a different idea. And the board are trying to sort of change the fans' minds on where we can really get to, because a lot of
Yeah,
the fans this season at the start of it were thinking, if we finish top half, fine. It's a good
was it? Yeah,
season,
yeah,
because like 17th is the highest we've finished in the last 6, 7 seasons. So it's just been like dire times really at St Andrews. But we're thinking like anything top half would be fine. But these new guys have come in, got their own ideas. They said they're about wanting to build this winning mentality around the place, and they've got in these players like Wayne Rooney, Ashley Cole, John O'Shea that were great in their playing careers, but in their
yeah,
coaching
definitely.
careers, it's yet to be seen. So it's one of the things where I can see what they're trying to do, but is it going to work? I'm not sure. And in terms of expectations for this season, like we started off really well, but I would still be happy with a top half finish. And I know some
Yeah,
fans are thinking, right, now's the time where we've got to kick on, but it happens gradually in the Championship. It's very rarely that a team goes straight into the top six picture, gets promoted, and then stays in the Premier League for a long time. We've seen it with some clubs in the past where they've had that great season, got up to the Premier League, but then not been able to sustain that and come back down.
mm,
So I think it's just a thing where we gradually build over time. And I think with Birmingham and Middlesbrough, it's very similar strategies in the transfer window. And I think sort of on the pitch as well, I don't know what you're going to sort of say about the style of football that Michael Carrick plays, but what style of football can we expect to see tomorrow?
Yeah, well, look, we're very comfortable on the ball. We'll try and play out from the back, like a lot of teams do now. They obviously they've adopted
Mm.
this
That's what
Pep
Rooney
style
said
of
already about
football.
wanting to,
Yeah,
trying to play out from the back and that.
yeah.
And I mean, if two
Gosh.
teams are trying to do it at the same time, then it's going to be interesting to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and that's it. And like, and how will his approach change tomorrow as well? Because it's going to be completely different to what you guys have been doing over the last few weeks. And how do we play it? It's very much on the ball. Can we try and keep it? Can we be smart with it? Can we play on the half turn? And can we try and cut teams open? And how does that really look in the game? And how does it fluctuate? Well, you kind of see, like, obviously, you see these formation changes now where in football where you see like a 3-2-5 or a 4-2-4 and all that kind of stuff. But playing like last year, we were very much when we were in possession, 3-2-5, move everyone over at the right hand side, create space for Giles on the left, flip the ball over, get the ball crossing the box, and we'll probably score. Very simple, and by the way I've described that, but in practice it's a little bit more difficult, right? But this year is a bit different. We've went and we started off with like a 4-2-4 in possession. We introduced a lot of new players at once, and it just didn't really work. It was too static, and we were a bit too narrow, and teams were cutting us open. We were making stupid mistakes most of the time anyway. I think a lot of the goals we conceded was because of our mistakes, and then we changed it back to how it was last year in terms of that 3-2-5 shape. Now it's more of like a 2-3-5, which is like kind of both wing backs are going forward, really try to pin teams back and utilize the crosses and try to get the ball in the box with Isaiah Jones on the right. Engel, who's our left back, had a terrible time against Sheffield Wednesday, but he's came back in the last couple of games. He's been really good, getting the balls on the left. And, we'll have players like Riley McGree, who you'll be familiar with, Sam Greenwood, play occupying that like free role type 10 and left midfield position and just cause overloads. And that's how we've really tried to play for like about the last 12 months since Carrick's been in charge. So it's nice to watch. Can we get playing? It remains to be seen, but I think there's some really key players. You're looking at how do we get the ball to Hayden Hackney, our two defensive midfielders of Hackney and maybe Ballasser or Howson, and then how can you stop McGree and how can you stop Jones? And then you kind of look at it from that perspective. How can you stop those individuals creating chances? But yeah, I'd be interested to see how Rooney set you guys up because it'd be really different. We both were like going to be like, he's done this in his first game. So
Learning as we go along, I guess, about how we're going to play.
yeah, that's it. You just don't know, do you? And I'd be interested to see like how much he stamps his authority in that first game, like playing out from the back. I'm assuming, obviously, I hadn't watched much of Birmingham this season, but I'm assuming was Eustace doing something quite similar. Was it very much playing out from the back, or was it just be safe, get the ball in the channel, or what was it like? I'm just curious to see what it was.
I'd say it's more progressive than we're used to. There's still
Yeah,
parts of it, where we're not trying to overcomplicate it at the back. If you have to get rid of it, you get rid of
definitely.
it.
Yeah,
But it's one of them things where we have been really assured at the back. Like our defensive record has been really good this season. The fact that
yeah,
only Leicester have conceded less goals than us, that's something that I hope doesn't change with Rooney obviously coming in and wanting to play his own way. And I don't want it to be in the first few games where we're trying to play out from the back and then someone gets dispossessed and we concede, because we've seen it with some of the teams that have come down from from the Premier League going into the
yeah,
Championship, like Southampton. Their defense has been not great. Like you see the amount of
oh
goals they've
man,
conceded. I
yeah.
don't want that to happen to us.
Yeah, well, Southampton, like, God, man, I watched them and I was thinking, like, you're not. They're probably one of the worst teams I've seen at the Riverside this season, which is interesting. Funny enough, Southampton,
Mm.
just overcomplicating things, trying to play with too much width, and we just cut them open, and it was like kind of one of those games where you're just thinking, you guys should be a lot better than what you guys are at the moment. And it's always the same with
Mm.
Russell Martin teams. So it's just there to see how he's going to adapt that style. But in terms of our game, yeah, I feel like we'll have more of more possession during the game. It's just about those chances and when can you create those chances. Because we're there to be attacked against. Teams have done it and definitely scored against us. And our strategy over the last couple of years has been, we'll just try and outscore you. And will it work? I don't know. So we'll soon see. We'll definitely soon see. But yeah, we'll probably see more of possession, and we'll try and create those chances through possession based football. And whether that happens, we'll see.
Yeah, we speak so much about like the progressive football and that, but before we
Yeah.
started recording, we were chatting about some of the past Middlesbrough managers that you've had in the last few years, the likes of Neil Warnock
Yeah.
and Tony Pulis, which you wouldn't associate that kind of football with. So
No.
when you're watching old Middlesbrough sides compared to this Middlesbrough side, what are your main sort of contrasts apart from,
Ah.
I guess,
Oh,
trying to keep the ball a bit more?
yeah. Sam, mate, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant.
Mm.
Honestly, watching Warnock ball, Pulis ball, and a bit of Woodgate ball. God, honestly, it took you at the
Some
ends
long days.
of. There was some long, yeah. There was some days, a lot of days I forgot in that time. Mate. It was pretty brutal, to be honest. But now it's been a bit more. It's definitely more attractive to watch, and I'm not against the long ball. I absolutely love it. It causes absolute havoc, and I'm all for it. And we need more long ball in football again. I'm going to definitely campaign for that, but not for my team. Um, but yeah, it's just it's much nicer now. I think it's just easier to watch, and I can remember the games a lot more, which is a nice thing, especially when you do a podcast yourself. So it's like,
Mm.
yeah, and you don't. I think under like Pulis and Warnock and Woodgate, it was very difficult to record most weeks because you're like, good God, that was awful. That was awful. And it was just like rinse and repeat for like every week. And then now it's a lot better to talk about, much happier. And hopefully you guys see the same as well. I hope things keep going good for Birmingham as well, because it's been years since you've been out of the Premier League. I remember like going to St Andrews when I was like much younger, and Mac Viduka scored an absolute worldie that day as well. So yeah, it's just been nice to see you guys back, because it was a long time where we were both in there. I always remember Mikel Forsell for you guys as well, and
Oh
our
yeah.
5-3 win as well. So there's some really good memories about Birmingham in that time, and
Mm.
it's just a shame you guys haven't been in the Premier League much like since, and neither have we, to be honest. But yeah, it'd be nice to see us both back up there.
Yeah, I was literally about to bring up actually about past Birmingham Middlesbrough games where we've played
Yeah,
each other and there's been quite a lot of goals actually. I look by it like some of the games that have gone by and there's been a lot of goals in the games. I mean, you go back to the Premier League years like what you were saying about the 5-3 game and the
yeah,
Viduka goal at St Andrews. It was on the volley, wasn't it? It was like the top
yeah.
corner. Yeah,
Top
I,
ends,
I,
yeah.
I remember that goal and that was a pretty good finish. But in terms of like championship games you played each other, I know there is one championship manager we've both had, one that was really successful for
Okay, yeah,
Middlesbrough and
yeah.
one that wasn't for Birmingham City, and that was Aitor Karanka, where you got promoted with Karanka and we certainly didn't get promoted. So, in terms of sort of people that link Birmingham and Middlesbrough, who can you think of like at the top of your head?
I can link one George Friend, because he's just gone, but I
Yes,
love George
yeah,
Friend. He's brilliant.
he
What
was
a
a great
professional.
professional. That's what I'd say about him.
Yeah,
100%. There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, obviously there's Karanka isn't there, and you think,
Mm,
like he should have worked out, but he never, and it just kind of fell apart, didn't it? And he brought in a couple of
mm.
boys, didn't he, from us? Did he bring an Ayala? Am I remember like no,
It
it wasn't
was
Ayala.
Adam Clayton that he brought in. So he
Clayton,
brought in
that's
Adam
the one.
Clayton. Yeah.
Tomato, tomato. But it's yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah. He brought in Clayton. Clayton was probably past it when he came in. Friend was obviously a really good
Mm.
professional. Trying to think of players that we've both shared.
So I
Um,
guess McGree at the moment, that's one I can think
McGree,
of.
obviously there is
He
McGree.
was a
Yeah.
good player for us, but it's one of the things where perhaps at that point we weren't at the position that Middlesbrough were in, and that seemed
Mm,
like a better move for him. And I remember at one point he was being linked with Celtic as well, so a
yeah.
lot of teams were after him, but you guys got him in the end. And I remember at one point for us, McGree was playing as like a blooming left wing back on the Bowyer. Didn't really know what to
It,
do with him, but he's like
he's
an
done
attacking
that a couple of
midfielder.
times.
So yeah,
Yeah, he's done
he's
that a couple
more
of
so
times with
suited
us.
like a midfielder.
Yeah, but yeah, amazing. He's amazing. Absolutely, I love him. Like, I can't believe he sold him to us. Really, I really can't. He's so good.
Mm.
I properly enjoy watching him. He's probably arguably probably our best player. So it's quite bittersweet, I think, for you guys. But yeah, playing him left back. He's
Mm.
played left back a couple of times for us this season as well. So that's how he. That I was wondering why he was doing that. So like, I feel like you've just nailed it now, Sam. To be honest, so
Mm.
I didn't
From
know
our
that,
days,
but
he was used as a left wing back because what Bowyer tended to do when he was at the club is that our most promising attacking player, he just put a wing back, just give him
standard.
that space there. But I don't know what kind of move that was. It was a very strange one.
Yeah, that is an odd one. That is a very odd one. I don't think I'm glad Lee Boyle left. Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
he gave us in, to be honest. But yeah, I can't think of many more players. There's always like some like random like players I can think of as like Birmingham, like
Mm.
obviously Mikael Forsell, Clinton Morrison. Trying to think of like a couple more. Who was the goal? Was it Mike Taylor in goal? Is that right?
Yes, yeah, he's part of the coaching
Yes.
staff at Birmingham now, actually.
Is
So
he?
when
Wow.
when Eustace was sacked, he was actually one of the only people that stayed on at the coaching staff. And a lot of the fans are happy with that because he is a club legend.
Yeah. Oh well, there you go. Like that's like a throwback for me. I'm buzzing with that.
It is.
Proper
It
good
really is.
Birmingham
Yeah.
knowledge.
I'm sure people in the comments will come up with more players that we haven't managed to think of. But going on to score predictions for the game, what are you thinking?
Uh, I hope we win. I really hope we win. I'll front to say that we'll probably get beat. But I'll take a 2-0 Borough win. I'm gonna go predict that. Hopefully, I think it might
Mm,
be a little bit. Hopefully, it's a bit too soon for Rooney to stamp what he wants to stamp on the Birmingham team. But it could easily be the other way. You know, you could implement stuff,
mm.
and we're just completely confused by it all, and you guys go away with the 3 points. So, but I'm gonna go 2-0. What are you gonna go for, Sam? What's gonna be your prediction?
I'm going for a 2-2. I think there'll be
Nice, like
quite
that.
a lot of goals because both teams are trying to be progressive, and it's one of the things where I think there will be one goal that's down to a mistake, and then that maybe gives the other team the impetus to then go and score another, and it kind of swings a bit. So I'm saying 2-2 and an opening point for Wayne Rooney. Not all
Yeah,
three, not zero, but 1 point. Sit in the middle.
yeah. I'd take that. I'd definitely take that for a first game for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Because you guys are in great form, and I'm sure you won't be in the bottom half of the league for much longer.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. Because I really hope so. I don't know if we can go top half tomorrow. I think if we win, but I think we need a bit of a swing to do that.
Mm.
I could do it with another 4-0 win, to be honest. But I probably won't. It definitely probably won't happen. But yeah, I'll take top half right for very short term, then hopefully playoffs in the end of the season. But yeah, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed, and I hope you guys stick around the top six as well, because it'd be lovely to see you guys up there again.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant to sort of get you on for the next time we play you as well, because it's been a really good chat,
Definitely.
Johnny.
Yeah, appreciate Sam. Honestly, I love being on, mate.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, thank you to Johnny from Borough Breakdown, and I'm sure we'll have videos coming up in the next day or two with vlogs or whatever and podcasts about covering the game and what we've got coming for the future. So make sure to leave a comment about Birmingham Middlesbrough players we forgot, and like, share, comment, subscribe, and keep right on.